Hey, hi, how you doing, folks? I see you're back. You're ready to roll. Great weekend. I think it's pretty good. I've had a experience myself. Our and I have perfection. I've been able to do it again. Okay, it's like I don't know, like Groundhog Day. Hurry in Groundhog Day. I don't understand what's going on. Everything's happening again. Anyway, and we actually found a bunch of stuff. Vaccine card. I probably feel the same vaccine card. I don't know. I finally found my brain fund. You know, I just found my SAG card. It's way over. It's from the early. None. But I'm in a union. I don't know. Are we going to go through it again? No. Now we have the slow-mo Pablo Picasso looking intensely at the screen, and he's looking at me. We are live, folks. We are live. We're live for 2 minutes and 25 seconds. But this is the off night. If you couldn't believe it, it's the off night. It's amazing, isn't it? We're going to have 4 people coming in, and we're going to be talking about things all around the spectrum of stuff, from football to baseball to actual comedy. You wouldn't believe the type of things that are going to happen this week. Excellent, excellent show. I'm going to give it over to Mark Sweetman if he can get here. Mark? Oh, I'm hosting the show myself. Okay. Well, I got to tell you, a lot of interesting things happened today. This is very fascinating. A young lady named Shelly Smith. I believe Shelly Smith. I've known her for a long time. I was sitting in the laundry, just sitting there, minding my own business. I had my load in. I had to just go and do it, watching the circle. You know, it's fascinating and stuff like this. You get to see the clothing. It's almost like watching TV. Actually, it's about the same thing as watching TV sometimes, just watching your clothes dry. And then Shelly comes in. I've known her for years. And I said, oh, didn't know. So she came in. She had actually left her underwear in the cycle. She had went away for like a couple hours and came back, and it was still there. So anyway, but she gave me information on, I got a finger coming at me. Mark Sweetman's there. He's punching. He can't.
Hi, can you
get contact? Me? Hello.
Am I heard?
I can hear you.
Am I being heard?
You're being heard and being typed.
Okay,
too.
well, I guess I'm on then.
Hi. You've been heard and typed.
Well, here I am.
Well, hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Does it say horrible tech, unqualified or unexperienced or something?
No, I was
talking about
this story with Shelly Smith that happened this weekend. Really kind of interesting.
Oh, what happened?
It was basically I was in the laundromat, just hanging out. Haven't seen her in a couple of well over a year. She pops in.
All right.
And she says, I'm right next to her laundry. Her laundry's been going for like the last hour and a half. She had to go to a doctor's appointment and she left it there. So anyway, she informed me of that she was doing a set out at this place in Chelsea. And it was very fascinating. But three of the guys I haven't
Brad
seen.
Wenzel's on that show, I think.
What's that?
I said Brad Wenzel's on that show, I think.
Exactly. I saw Brad Wenzel. I saw John O'Connell, and I saw
Yep.
God, the third guy. I haven't seen him in a while, but he just got back into it, and now you threw me off. I can't think of his name right now. But Shelley was in it. She managed it. It was a fantastic show. It was really good. It was like not much swearing at all. Brad Wenzel was great, and
Brad Wenzel was great.
but the middle guy, Connell headlined. He's like he has a podcast somewhere in New York City, but he started off here at Ann Arbor at the
he's been in New York for a while.
Main Street. And two of the guys had worked for who's a late night show guy? Had a show.
Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien. Two of the guys worked for Conan O'Brien. And damn it, the third guy I wanted to see, and I got a chance to see him. He just great stuff. He hasn't been doing much stuff lately, but he just got back into it, and it was really fantastic. It was
we can bring Susan out here to read her poem. And you can go look it up. You can go look it up while Susan's reading her poem.
Well, that makes sense to me. Okay, thanks, Susan. Give me some time.
All right. Let's say hello to Susan.
Hello,
get
Susan.
Her on stage here.
Hello.
Hi. I hear you're a poetress. You know, poetry person.
Author and poet.
Poetry person.
Author and poet. We have a liberal arts education. There we go.
That's right. I made hundreds of dollars.
All right. Well,
a decade.
You made hundreds of dollars. Boy, that's even better than I have. You know. I'm trying to think what
that thing's out to
going like, yeah.
Let's all talk at once.
Yeah, I'm gonna go try and find this thing. So.
All right. Do you want your poem, Mark?
Well, I'm gonna put. Yeah, let's have your poem here.
Okay. An unwanted Oscar made landfall in Cuba today. Hurricane blackout for Cubans, a long power delay. Hamas chief Sinwar has died, killed by Israel, and Trump's brain may be deteriorating. Can you tell? Trump talking about golfer Arnold Palmer's penis at a Pennsylvania rally. What a stable genius. Obama is in Detroit tomorrow to join the Kamala Harris rally. Meanwhile, your show tonight is taking place in the California Valley.
Hey, all right. Thank you, Susan. Kudos to rhyming penis and genius. That was actually genius, as opposed to being penis, but
inspiration.
That is what happened. Yeah, and I can only imagine the Arnold Palmer family must be so proud. Anyway, let's get the other guys. Let's get the other guys out here so you can say hello before you have to take off. Here's from New York City, just out of his stay at the beautiful Hotel Cedars. Sam Greenfield, everybody.
By the way, if I may, and that rhymed too. But by the way, Arnold Palmer's family was really ticked off about that.
I guess so.
They were really ticked off.
They wanted him to talk about the golf balls.
You look up crude in the dictionary and you see somebody saying, no, this is worse than that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm really surprised he would tell that story, but not do the ball washer joke. The Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
I think the ball washer joke is the property of Yakov Smirnoff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Uncle Dirty, I was thinking, but anyway.
Uncle Dirty.
No, he really did one. Smirnoff, he said, I go to play golf and I see this sign. It says ball washing for free, and I think, what a country. No, he really did.
Anyway, also with us tonight, as always, is Jason Grant. Everybody, here he is.
Hi, Jason.
The show. Hi guys, how's it going?
Hey,
Hello.
It's going well.
Hear me now?
So, except for that clunky opening that I cannot control until I don't know. I guess I'm going to need more bandwidth or something.
We missed the exciting story about something about your landlord.
Who, me?
Oh, me? Yes.
Yeah.
We're doing inspections this week, and I had to clean up my room. I had like 3 years of plague stuff to get out of my place. I've been borderline hoarder, but now I can actually see my floor. And I put out. I mean, the amount of the amount of trash that was there was like just stuff that didn't have to be there anymore. You know, magazines, articles. I found my CDC badge for my shots, so I decided to keep that as a memento of the occasion. But I have like 5 bags of trash that went out. 5 bags.
Now, when you say CDC badge, you're talking about the COVID vaccine?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody had to have their COVID vaccine and a little tag on there, taking them in.
Yeah, I still have my I keep mine in my
cupboard. Yeah.
Well, mine I knew it was in this pile. I didn't know. I just knew it was at the bottom of the pile. That was the whole thing.
I didn't keep the used test.
5 bags of trash later. There it is. Okay.
There you go.
But I actually see a floor. It looks good. Everything is good. I also was saying, like, I finally found it was Jesse Pop. Jesse Pop. Do you ever see him when he was here? He was actually on Conan. And he worked for Conan.
Andy, when you said Shelley Smith, did you mean the actress?
No. She's a local
comic.
She's a local comic here, but she helps to run the 51 First Jokes.
Because you did with Shelley Smith, the actress, and you can snag some of those panties. I'm here.
So it was a gift from God that I was able to be there when we were watching her underwear. But she also told me about the show with Brad Wenzel and Jesse Pop and Connell. It was one of the best shows I've seen in a long time. And I was in this place, the Rumpus Room, which is basically, I don't know who decided these steel seats are the things they have, but I wish they would just, get rid of them. They're just like hard as rock, and they're just not very much fun. But it's like they did a show for less than 25 people. And we're like,
wow,
what happened, guys?
Well, who hasn't?
Well, bring your stadium.
Well, you know what? Why didn't they do it in Ann Arbor instead of Chelsea?
I have no idea. It was a thing that I think Shelley set up, but she knows Brad and those guys, and they, it was for Connell to come in, and he's from New York, so he lives in New Jersey, so he's got a podcast going. He does stuff out there. He's pretty good. It was just very inventive stuff, really fun, inventive stuff.
Frank Santarelli. Speaking of panties, Frank Santarelli was staying at a woman's house. When you go on the road, you find someone in that city and you crash there, right? And so Santarelli, this woman says to Santarelli, I forget her name, but she says, "Listen, when you're staying at my place, you're not going to look in my T-shirt drawer, are you?" He goes, "Of course not. Hamper."
Look at the hamper.
My boy.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye.
Goodbye, Susan.
Goodbye,
for the
sweetie.
poem.
Bye,
We'll see you.
Susie.
Check your text messages. If you hear that, check your text messages.
Susan, looks like I'm losing. Wasting my time. Is Susan gone?
She is. That's why
She's
I put
gone.
Sharon Stone up there.
All right,
so
now I'm going to entertain you with what happened to me over this weekend in the hospital.
Oh, dear.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So here's what happened. I had constipation for like 2 weeks. Couldn't go, right?
Well,
once I got into the
heard
hospital, once I got into the hospital, it was all hands on Drek. And so I said to one of the nurses, and they were great, by the way. Yes. I said to one of the nurses, what do I do if I have to go? I mean, I can't get up in time. You know what they said? Go in the bed. Just go in the bed, page us, we'll come in, we'll clean it up, and we'll wipe you off. I said, that is the least alluring come on I have ever had in my life. Hey, how did Sam do last night at the comedy club? Oh, he shit the bed. No, I mean at the comedy club.
Wow.
Whose phone?
Yeah.
Whose phone?
And so I
That
did.
was
And
my phone.
to be honest, it
I'm
was.
gonna have to bug out just a second. I'm gonna bug out here, guys.
I don't know how to say this, but it was somewhat freeing. I mean,
Somehow.
people don't get a lot of chances to, just say, "I'll be right back. I'm going to poop the scoop," So
As the resident hillbilly in German, I'm feeling you're doing a bit of cultural appropriation here, Sam.
oh, this is so sad. I'm watching the Buccaneers game, and
Yeah.
all of these idiots in Tampa are dressed like Buccaneers. What a cry for help! Oh man, come on, kids.
Well, it is Halloween.
They don't do the Star Spangled Banner. They get some drunk to go arg.
Arr. Well, don't come to Ann Arbor during Pirate Day. Arbor.
Barbara and I went to Maui years ago on a little vacation, which is kind of cool because when you're in Vegas, it's not that far.
Huh?
And so they have a Halloween thing, but it's not Halloween. It's another day, and it's on Front Street, which is the main street in Maui. And there's a guy standing there dressed in full Nazi regalia.
Huh.
Nazi, the boots, the swastika. And I walked up to this cop, and the cop was right, by the way. I said, "Can you do anything about that?" And he goes, What do you want me to do? He's not saying anything inflammatory. What do you want me to do? And I said, "Kill him." You can't do that. What I just said, you can't do that in Germany.
No.
No Nazi regalia.
Yeah.
No uniforms. No. What's the other thing I'm trying to say? No Holocaust denying.
Oh yeah.
Which reminds me, what's his name? Vance. I'm sure you saw this. He said that Trump did not lose the election in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. If he didn't lose the election in 2020, that means he can't run now.
Yeah.
Because it's his third election.
Oh, that's true.
There's some stupid, God damn. But I don't know if I agree with this. Do you think Trump is losing it? Do you think his faculties are, or do you think this is just him?
I can't tell if he's trying to lose the race or not. I'm just you're 80 years old. He's trying to stay out of jail. I don't know if he's trying to lose.
Well, it's interesting to me that he said that, and he lied about this in the other election, but he said, if I lose this election, I'm definitely not running again in 80, what is it, 78, 76? So what the hell is it? 2028. I won't run again. But he said that the last time. He said, if I lose this election, I'm going to just play golf and you'll never see me again. So, who knows? But I don't know if he's losing it or this is just who he is.
Yeah. I think it's just who he is. I think it's like he doesn't have any sort of, sense of propriety. He has no sense of propriety. I mean, he's come to Detroit, twice and insulted the city of Detroit, saying it's a whole.
By the way, insulted it badly.
Yeah.
It wasn't humor. It was mean.
Yeah.
And it was under, it was really shitty of him.
But I'm thinking that is a strategy to get the suburbs, because the suburbs have not been very, very kind to Detroit either.
I understand that, but I don't think you win a city or an area over by insulting them.
Yeah.
And by the way, what I'm about to say really doesn't mean anything except in a like a small circle, but in the voting, the pre-election voting, she's 2-1 ahead. Now it doesn't mean anything now; it means nothing. But it's interesting that he's encouraging everyone to vote early, and she's killing him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
But
I know.
it
I
also
know
doesn't
that-
matter because he's probably going to protest the vote,
Yeah.
which is that to me is the worst part of him, that he just can't, take it like a man and just lose.
like Barbara Boxer, who in 2004 tried to decertify the Ohio delegates. The
Barbara
Ohio
Boxer did?
She tried to decertify the Ohio electoral vote.
What did she have
certainly
to do
did.
with Ohio? I'm not saying you're wrong, but
it was during, well, actually it was in January of 2005 while they were formally counting the electoral votes. She stood in protest and tried to decertify the Ohio contingent because it was claimed at the time that the voting machines were rigged against John Kerry, because the early exit polls showed Kerry beating Bush, and it turned out not to be that way. And the Kerry campaign got rather salty about that. I still claim to this day that had they stuck with Dean, they probably would have won that campaign. But
that was the biggest ripoff of John Dean. That guy, was it John
Howard
Dean?
Dean. John
Howard
Dean was the
Dean.
Dean was the
I know
Smiths for
people who
Nixon.
were there. I
Yeah.
know people who were there, and if you heard him there, it didn't sound like it did on TV.
No, he's in a loud room with lots of people, and he's just trying to project, right? I mean, that's what you do. I
think he would. I agree with you. I think he would have won.
I disagree with Howard Dean on just about everything, but I believe that he understood who his constituents were and best represented them. And had the Democrats stuck with that, they'd have been in a better position. But what do I know? I'm just a lowbrow moron Republican.
I don't know if you saw this, but there's a huge article in I can't remember the name, Axios.
Axios,
And the headline read, "The New York Times, Trump's favorite columnists." I mean,
well,
I don't know why they're doing it, but they are really playing up to Trump. The New York Times is really playing up to him.
If it makes you feel any better, should Trump win, just hypothetically, just relax, hypothetically.
I'm not going to froth at the mouth. It's okay.
Yeah, not yet. No, wait till. Or if Harris wins, either one. I've now reached the point personally, and again, as if it matters to anybody, and it doesn't, that I don't know that what the sort of darkness on the horizon that I see, I don't think it can be stopped. If you want to know my little tinfoil theories, is that there's just sort of this shadowy cabal of super rich people who are bent on running the whole goddamn world, and the plan is in action.
I think what happened, I agree with you, and I think what happened is they've been fulminating this for a while.
Long time.
And now they say this is our chance.
Yes. And I don't think it's going to matter either way. I could be 100%. I don't know. What do I know? I could use a magic 8-ball. I had to be reminded the other day that I'm getting a bit grim when I was told that the My Lai massacre did not make for good dinner table conversation.
The nerve of some people.
Well, I had to say, but the picture of the little girl running from the napalm attack, I remember seeing that and thinking, "Damn, she looks hot."
Nice thighs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God. So
I
what's the
I just
worst
thought
picture?
I just thought of something on that I just am not even going to say.
What's the worst picture? That little girl or the guy getting shot in the head?
Well, that was actually a Viet Cong major or captain who had just killed that guy's neighbor and family of that guy's neighbor, and got everything that he deserved. But as a picture, it's definitely a war-changing photograph, right?
Do you remember a picture in National Geographic? It was
Several.
a photo of a young girl who was just gorgeous,
The
beautiful
Afghani girl?
eyes. Do you remember
the
that?
Afghani girl. Yes, I do.
From Afghanistan?
Yeah.
Right? No.
Afghanistan.
Yes.
The
With those
I've
green.
seen her like today.
Yeah.
She looks
Yeah.
like Larry Holmes.
Well, if she looked like the other Holmes, that would actually be different to say the least.
Not John Holmes.
Yeah, well, I mean, if she
Yeah.
morphed into John Holmes,
Well, it's living in that desert will do it to you.
I'm telling you, when it you can't get there if it's arid.
Oh my God! So,
All right, here's a
I
great trivia question.
yes,
That picture that you see there of Sharon
yeah,
Stone,
yeah.
what's the name of the
Mhm.
character she's playing?
Isn't it? Oh God! It's Robert De Niro's wife, Ginger something, or Ginger is her
Ginger
name.
McKenna.
Okay, and
I
she's
think it's impressive you knew it was Ginger.
yeah. Well, she's so good in that. I mean, it's like I don't know. I don't know if Scorsese directed her or not, or just told her. I don't know how that works, but I mean, she just nails the role so freaking well, as
I'll tell
everyone
you
does
something in
in
that
that movie.
movie that no one notices except freaks like me. Okay. You remember the scene in that movie where she hits Pesci
Yes.
Mhm.
when he says, "Why don't you
Hmm.
just kill De Niro?"
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Get it over
And
with.
then he grabs her along with I can't remember his name now. Frank.
Frank Vincent.
Thank you very much. Frank. And they drag her down the stairs
Yeah.
and they throw her out.
Yeah.
90% of that is not her.
There's a
It's a stunt. And if
stunt
you ever
lady.
watch it, you'll see where it's the only time you see her is when she's being carried down. You know, and you see her the front of her face,
Right.
and then when they throw her, and which is amazing by the way, because
Yeah.
that's her landing on her tuchus.
Yeah.
But except for that, that's not her. And the way they cover her, and so you don't know it's her, is astounding.
Yeah. Say, Sam, did you see the Tropicana got 86th?
Yes,
I mean, I don't know how to. I mean, I don't know. These places were not necessarily architectural
they weren't
masterpieces.
top of the line. Tropicana's been around for like 60 years.
Yeah, I know,
Mhm.
but I mean, then again, to see bits and pieces of what I grew up with, just sort of like vaporized, so that they can put in something even more soul killing in its place.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we're advancing. I'm not sure we're ahead of the game.
Well,
How many?
here's the difference between the Trop and what you see going up now, like Paris and places like that. The size of the new places is astounding.
Mhm.
Yes.
The Trop, you know, when I was working in Vegas, the Trop was like huge. That was a big place.
Mhm.
No, I mean, and now it's like, oh yeah, that little place, yeah, it's right over there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
different now. They're all huge. Paris and even the Luxor, which was huge at one time,
Right.
you know, is not as big as the others. The Mandalay Bay is huge.
Now, I'll grant you, the orb, that new thing that they've got that looks like a giant eyeball, a 300-foot, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it has that. It's a spherical building, and it has that coating on it that allows them to project things on it, and it is interesting. I got to give them that.
Oh
That
no,
that
no,
looks
they do a nice job.
yes. I mean, but I yeah. I mean, I guess I'm turning into an old man. I just kind of remember Sammy Davis Jr. or Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin or any of the, or for that matter, Wayne Newton, doing the big Vegas. Well, Wayne never did the Vegas act on the Carson show. We know that. When he went in and grabbed Johnny up by the lapels and pretty much said,
He
I
said, "Hey
I don't
Johnny, is it?" You know what he actually said to him?
something
Is
like
this
I
the
don't know
last
what
time
I
or the
did or
next time you're going to say that to me?
yeah, exactly. I mean, he let him know, and no one said. And Wayne Newton was a big man. He was physically a large
6'5".
man. Yeah, he was. And I mean, big. Yeah, big in so many ways. And yeah,
You know what's funny is I interviewed him. One of the neat things about working in Vegas on the radio is, you know, I'm talking to the governor of Vegas,
yeah,
Terry Quinn. I think it's something Quinn,
right.
and here comes Wayne Newton. Just happened by, you know, knocks on the door and says, "Hey guys, can I come in?" And I'm thinking to myself, "It's Wayne Newton. You're asking me if you can come in? I should be asking you, can I stay on the air?" You know. And I said, "Absolutely, come on in." And he comes in, he gives the governor a hug. And I'm like, "Yeah, of course you can come in."
Yeah.
And then I said, then I thought, well, I've got him here. I said, "Listen, you want to do me a favor? You want to do a pro bumper for me?" And he says, "Yeah, sure. What do you want me to say?" I said, "Just, you know, that, whenever, you know, you're playing the strip, you like to listen to Sam Greenfield. Can you just go from there? Or are you in the incompetent fag hag that we've heard?" And so he said, "Yeah, sure." So he goes, "Hey, everybody." This is exactly what he did. He says, "Hey, everybody, this is your old buddy Wayne Newton. And when I'm not killing it on the strip, I'm listening to my good pal Sammy Greenfield. That's Sam Greenfield." And I'm like, son of a bitch. And you
Yeah.
know who else did it without a single complaint? Leno.
Yeah. I
You
know.
know, guys like him, and because, and I asked Leno one time, I said, "Do you ever like get asked to do this and you're like, I don't want to do this?" And he said such a common sense answer. He said, "What is the point of me not doing it? I'm
Yeah.
there. I'm 3
Yeah.
feet in front of you.
Yeah.
You're providing me with a venue for me to plug my show. Why would I not do that?" And then he looks at me and in a stage whisper, he goes, "Who do you think I am? Letterman?"
Oh God! I mean, shit! I just well, that's Andy. I think you've probably heard this quote. Maybe you're the one who even told it to me. William Shatner once was asked about the difference between a professional actor and a non-professional actor, and he said, you can see guys who are non-professionals who might be good. They might be very good. They might even be better than the pro in some respects. But the pro brings the goods at 8 o'clock Monday morning. I mean, he knows when to be on and to deliver. I mean,
Well,
and
you
when
know
you talk,
what he did was they asked him to plug a spot in a heartbeat.
yeah,
And Jay Black of Jay and the Americans,
yeah,
he comes on my show. This is hysterical. My show was on from 6 to 10 a.m. All right. Then they moved me to the afternoons. Didn't matter to me because I was so screwed up by the 3 hour time difference. I couldn't tell. So I just could. What time is it? Great. So,
yeah.
but he comes on and I go, "Jay, how you doing?" He goes, "How am I doing? I just lost $2,000 at the tables. How are you doing?" I said, so that's not great, huh?" He goes, "I'll get it back." And who he hates or hated. I think Jay passed away. Frankie Valli
Really,
hated
Frankie
him.
doesn't seem like an objectionable person.
Well, he was jealous of Jay,
Oh,
because Jay had a much bigger following than Frankie Valli
really?
in Vegas. Oh God, yeah. And one of the reasons is because Jay Black would perform for cops, firefighters, people like service industry people as well in a heartbeat. And Frank wasn't a dick about it, but he said, "Come on, man, it's 6 o'clock in the goddamn morning. Give me a break." And Jay
Yeah,
would do it.
yeah.
And he said, "Let me tell you something. You want to know what a shitbag?" I love this. He just said it on the air, and it's Jay Black, so I can't go, "Hey, you watch it,"
Right.
So he says, "You know what a shitbag that guy is? I hooked him up with a girl 6'1". He went up on her.
Oh God, yeah. Brandy Alexander uses a variation of that. But yeah, it's
And also the knock on Frankie Valli. I don't know if this is true. He lost his voice.
well,
He
I
lost that.
mean,
He lost those high tenor notes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's not a young man anymore by any stretch. I mean, the guy was
I think
big.
he's 90.
Yeah, he was big 60 years ago. I mean, hell of a career. Did you ever get a chance to bump into Tom Jones? Well, because I know he did Vegas
I
here and
bumped
there.
into
Oh,
Tom
he's got
Jones,
some pipes. Tom
and
Jones has some pipes
still
still,
got
baby.
he's still got pipes.
Yeah, he does. And
He does that. He does the voice in England,
really,
and he who he did it with. I don't know if you remember this guy, Lonnie Donegan.
yes.
And Lonnie
Donegan was one of
Donegan's
the
son,
original rock stars.
Lonnie Donegan's son, appeared on The Voice, and they sang. I don't forget the song. Lonnie Donegan had one very, very well-known song, and they sang together. But he's still got his pipes, man. I mean, to the
Yeah.
max.
You see, I'm a little bit too young to sort of grasp for this, but a lot of people who are a little bit older than me, not much, but a little bit, say they were floored to find out that Tom Jones was white because they thought, there's no way that a white man sings like this. This had to be a black dude. And at the time, that was a big deal.
He's
I mean,
Welsh, so that's like British black. So
yes. Oh well,
That's
true enough.
true. That is
Yeah.
true.
It is. And when you listen to his voice, you can hear that he does have that power, that projection that a lot of soul singers from back then did
Well,
have and had to have.
what he did, that he cracked me up. He just cracked Tom Jones. So I said, Mr. Jones, it's a pleasure to meet you. And he passed me on the head and he goes, "You're a tiny little thing, aren't you?" And I said to him, I said, "I hope you mean in height." And he roared. He roared. He goes, "That's the boy. That's the boy. That's a good boy."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did Prince's song "Kiss"
Yeah, did a
with
great
Art of
version.
Noise. He killed.
Yeah, and Art of
Yeah.
Noise was the perfect band to do it with.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they're producers. I mean, yeah, as much as they're a band. I mean, it's a couple
I'll
of
tell
guys.
you what, it
but-
made him and Johnny Cash the guys who had the largest spread between two #1 hits. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Folsom
well,
Prison. What?
I mean, Rick Rubin deciding to revivify Johnny Cash after Johnny Cash is fired from CBS, and Rick Rubin says, hold on, I got an idea here, Johnny. You in a room with a guitar playing your songs. How about that? And be damned if
You know
didn't-
something I never knew until I saw that movie Walk the Line, which was a
Yeah.
great movie.
Mhm.
Man. But I never realized that after she died, he died 4 months later.
Yep, I remember when she died. When I heard, because we were all on the Johnny Cash death watch, and hearing that June Carter had preceded him was sort of like Rosalind Carter preceding Jimmy. I would have never.
Except Jimmy's still here.
Well, that's what I mean. Jimmy
Yeah.
had pancreatic cancer. You know, I mean, pancreatic cancer is like, what am I supposed to fucking do? I'm here. I mean, I usually get my job done in a week. What is this? I don't get it. You know. So yeah, they're still trotting Jimmy out. Rosalind, you know, she's gone to the great beyond where she's, I don't know, shaking hands with John Wayne Gacy or something. I don't know. Of course, she's already done it once. So
I
you
ain't
know.
touching you now.
Yeah, well, can you imagine if Ethel Kennedy is having to nudge past Marilyn to get to Bobby just so she can, like, you know, claw his eyes out in the afterlife?
Well, you know, Ethel Kennedy just died.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And probably her biggest regret was that he didn't precede her. And by him, I mean Junior. What an embarrassment to that whole family. And
You know-
that
you know
family's
what?
had its share of embarrassment.
Yeah.
But God almighty.
What are you trying to say there, Sam? I'm not sure I'm getting exactly what you're putting down there.
Whale juice is no excuse to be a bad dad.
Are you
Whale
trying to
heads
say-
on the back of a car. There you go.
Are you trying to say Bobby Jr.'s not quite living up to the expectation we had for him? The heroin addiction, the drug addiction, the driving one wife to suicide.
Excuse me, stewardess. I believe the man next to me is nodding out. Because he had an experience on a plane.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, you know, he's a Kennedy. He can do whatever he wants. I mean, I think what's his name? Oh God, does anyone remember one of Teddy Kennedy's last kerfuffles? And it wasn't him. It was like one of the nephews brought someone home, and it was an allegation of date rape. And
It was Robert Kennedy Smith.
yeah,
It was Robert Smith.
and there
But
was some
here's-
claim
let me-
that Teddy was trolling around in just his
I followed
dress
that
shirt.
trial. And I'm going to tell you the mistake that the prosecutor made, and it was a huge mistake.
Not setting it in Nevada.
No, going after the Kennedys.
Yeah, period.
In other words, the guy, his name was Smith. It was Stephen Smith's son.
Yeah.
Go at Gene Kennedy Smith's husband. You know, go after the guy who committed the crime.
Yeah.
Don't make it a vendetta against the Kennedy family. Because I watched that entire trial, and Teddy Kennedy got on the witness stand, and he handled her, not in a rude way, not in a condescending way. He just answered her questions, and when she said, "But don't you think that?" He goes, "Excuse me, you asked me this question twice. I'm not going to answer it a third time, unless you'd like to ask me again." He handled her.
Well,
Because and I swear to God, all he did was tell the truth.
He's a Kennedy.
Like they said, what do you think happened the night? He said, I wouldn't know. I wasn't there.
Yep.
I wasn't there. How would I know?
I mean,
It was
he
the only performance by a prosecutor that was worse was what's her
the
name
chick out
with
in
O.J.
L.A.
Simpson. With
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson.
Well, didn't she also fuck up the Menendez brothers before OJ?
Say again.
Didn't she also fuck up the Menendez brothers the first time around before
Yes.
OJ?
And the big mistake that she made was, well, there's so many, but one of the big mistakes she made, well, there are two. Number one, introducing the concept of DNA. No one knew about DNA in 93 or
Not
94.
then. No.
No, not at all. It was Greek. And here's the other thing. They begged her. Everyone in the prosecutor's office begged her. They said, "Do not have this trial in downtown LA.
Oh,
Everyone in downtown LA who will be on the jury are
Yeah.
black women." And
Yep.
you got to remember, this is very, very early in the idea of OJ being on trial.
Yep.
And he was, they loved him. Black women loved him. So her answer was, no, black women resonate with me. What? Huh? Who?
Oh my! Oh, Marsha Clark. Marsha Clark. That's the chick's name.
Marsha, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just
Oh, God.
so dumb. No, they don't resonate with you. That guy rubbing his 9-foot Johnson. That's who they resonate with.
Oh, gee.
I mean,
see why
it was so
PR works.
stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, and,
Good.
and having the neo-Nazi testify for you.
That might have been a little bit, especially when you weren't that far away from the Rodney King affair, when that was still
Yeah.
raw and fresh and
Right.
yeah.
And the other thing was when they have the glove, right?
Yes.
That glove could have been the size of a Dallas Cowboys rubber
Right.
glove, and they still wouldn't have done anything.
And Johnny Cochran was a brilliant defense attorney.
You know what
have
he
to
did
give
that
him
was
credit.
smart that no one talks about?
Well, so
He
many
had
things.
he went into OJ's house
Right.
and he had OJ replace all white artifacts with black artifacts.
Oh, so he made it look like a 1972 set.
No, he
dressing.
made it look like he liked black people.
Exactly. So it looked like it was a set dressing for Cleopatra Jones Part 2.
Exactly.
God, what
Exactly.
a great movie. God. Well, I got Pam Grier up there. I mean, who
I know.
didn't love Pam Grier, especially in Jackie Brown, where she should have won the Academy
she should have been
Award.
nominated for an Oscar. She absolutely.
I mean,
Oh
her
man,
and the white dude
Sam
too.
Jackson.
Yes.
And I'll tell you someone else who was great, but
De
De
Niro,
Niro.
because he gets him to dial it down. Tarantino had him like set down to 1. I mean, he just totally, but it worked. It worked so beautifully, and
Chris Tucker
yes,
playing the young thug.
yes, who, she, again, not in the movie for a lot, but people still remember the role. Beaumont. Who's that? That's Beaumont.
Now I want to watch that film again.
I'm sorry?
Who's Beaumont?
No, I said now I want to watch that film again.
Oh,
You should.
that's one of those movies you like to watch once a week.
Yeah, well, if you ever see, like, I'm only going to watch 5 minutes of it, and it's like, no, you're not. You're going to watch
Well, see,
more.
here's the thing. Now that I've gotten rid of cable, I am addicted to Royco. Like, I can't believe how much and the thing that, what's
Roku?
great about Royco is when you want to watch Law and Order, right? There's no commercials.
Yeah.
Nice.
It blacks out, comes back in 3 seconds.
Yep.
Huh.
I
Gotta love
love
that.
it. I love that. It's kind of like how would you like to watch Andy Dick do something for 3 seconds? That's it.
You know that you've died, you've gone to hell when you realize you're sitting in the cell next to Andy Dick, and you're going, okay, you're right. I shouldn't have cheated on my taxes, and I shouldn't have run over the hitchhiker. Okay, that was a bad idea, and yet, oh God, what a nightmare!
Did I ever tell you this joke? I think I did. How do you get from Santa Barbara? Yeah, how do you get from Santa Barbara to Beverly Hills?
How?
You take the Pacific Coast Highway until you hit Ben Vereen.
God. He's another one didn't live too terribly long. Neither he nor Bob Fosse.
Well, he lost his daughter in that tragic accident.
Oh.
And then the doctor gave him some kind of sedative, and he was walking on the. By the way, who was the guy who hit him? He was a famous producer or director.
You're kidding. It was like, wasn't he on a bike or something like that? A bicycle?
Yeah,
And,
but he was in a total daze.
yeah, he was like out of it in a coma for several days and some period of time. And well, I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been it could have been a Jenner behind the wheel, in which case, you're
Oh,
definitely
by the
dead.
way, you know what my daughter gave me? Said, I want you to read this while you're in the hospital. It'll cheer you up. You ready?
Okay.
Oppenheimer.
Great book.
Great book.
I read a biography of him back in the 80s when I was in prison. And I had time. That was the good thing about it. I had lots of time. And it just an amazing human being. Just an absolutely crazy smart man. Never got a Nobel Prize. I don't think he did. And he used to get teased by it because all his friends all were Nobel laureates. And
And
like,
I never realized how much he was a victim of the McCarthy hearings.
Oh, it's huge. Not so much McCarthy, but it was well, I mean, it was the same era.
But that
era.
era.
It was Louis Strauss. It was Strauss actually, but Louis Strauss, who was a shoe salesman before he ever became important. He was head of the AEC, and Oppenheimer could be more than a little bit arrogant because he is like one of the smartest carbon-based life forms ever, and he wanted you to know it, and he did. And Strauss did not like being reminded of that fact, and he took him down, and he did. He absolutely did, to our detriment, by the way. Oppenheimer was arguing for the development of tactical nuclear weapons in the 40s and into the early 50s, which we did not do. And when we got into the Korean War and could have used tactical as opposed to strategic nuclear weapons, we did not have them. And instead, we had General MacArthur and him spoiling for a full all-out nuclear exchange so that he could then reinstall Chiang Kai-shek and the Kuomintang into the
heroin deal.
This is why I was told the My Lai massacre is not good dinner talk. I've been going.
People don't realize that Chiang Kai-shek was a huge. If you ever saw the movie American Gangster,
he was a heroin dealer. They were all opium, and how do you think they financed that stuff? Kill the ghost face, sell the drugs, take the money. Oh,
did you ever see? Did you ever see Did you ever listen to the comedy album First Family?
God, is that the one?
Where
JFK.
Yeah, JFK.
Von Meter.
Whose whole career was destroyed by that assassination.
Yeah.
There's a point in that thing. It's so great. It's so well written. But there's one where the entire Kennedy entourage, auto entourage, pulls up at a small gas station, right? And John Kennedy says, excuse me, can we get filled up here? And he says, yes, sir. How much would you like? Well, we have 52 limos. We have 12 SUVs, and we have a helicopter. Yes, sir. Oh, by the way, do you give out green stamps? No, sir. Forget it.
Were you the one who was telling me about JFK campaigning in 1960, and he's in West Virginia talking to coal miners?
I am the one.
Yeah, I still love that. They say you ain't never worked a day in your life. That's true.
Is that true?
Brother,
yes.
You ain't
ain't missed shit.
You ain't missing a thing. Yeah. But give him credit. He knew how. JFK was a rich dude who knew how to talk to regular people.
And the guys around him are going, well, sir, what we mean is, and he held his hand up and said, I'll answer it. No, I've never had to work a day in my life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Harry Truman opposed his nomination deeply. But the thing is, Kennedy had won enough votes in the primaries, and
sure
he couldn't
did.
be stopped. And Truman, who was still a force in the Democrat Party, believed that it should be brokered back when people had to remind Harry that his chosen candidates lost to Eisenhower handily, and he should maybe just shut the fuck up and go back to independence, and which is kind of what he did.
I read this article in Esquire. This is 60 years ago, okay, and it was an interview with Douglas MacArthur.
Yeah,
and as you know, I'm sure you know, Douglas MacArthur was put out to pasture by Harry Truman,
as well he should have been,
and he couldn't shut his mouth.
Yes,
and so he says to the interviewer, he says, I could have been president again. I could have been president, excuse me, if it wasn't for that Jew. And the interviewer says, what Jew are you talking about? He goes, Truman. He goes, excuse me? Well, Truman's a Jew. You didn't know that? Listen to the name, Truman. That's a Jew name. And I thought, wow, we were so close to, oh man, we were so close to being in Dutch. Oh my God.
To defend Douglas MacArthur just a little, when they met on Wake Island in, I believe it was 1950, and Truman asked him, so am I going to be running against you in a couple of years? And he said, Mr. President, if you run against a general, his name will be Eisenhower. Yeah, he pretty much called that one. So
wow, he sure. Well, Eisenhower might have been the most spotlessly clean candidate of my lifetime.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And a better president than he gets credit for.
Much better. And did other things. He was president of Columbia University.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The thing is, he started down the road of doing some civil rights work, but I think it's, pardon the expression, it spooked him. I'm not trying to be funny.
Clever.
But I'm serious. I think that he was of a generation who felt we needed to change, but it had to be very measured.
Well, he desegregated Little Rock.
Yeah. And he saw to the desegregation of the Army. And my father, who was in the 82nd Division Airborne, I have pictures of him serving with arm by arm with black servicemen, which was at that time was completely new. It was an integrated unit in 1950, which was again a brand new thing. And the thing is, though, Eisenhower kind of pulled the reins back on that after the Little Rock. I mean, he went forward with the Little Rock, sending in the 82nd Division.
But he said that was enough for now.
Yeah, but the thing is, he didn't realize this has a momentum of its own. LBJ kind of understood that. Actually, LBJ really understood that these things have their own sort of gravity, and you have to go with it, because if you go against it, you're not going to end up doing well. Say what you will about LBJ, he did a good job in getting civil rights through the legislative process.
But he was carrying the Kennedy mantle.
He was. And he also got us dick deep in Vietnam. He did. That's all true. But he did good things too.
That's his undying shame.
Yes, it is.
Because he lied about the Gulf of Tonkin. That never happened.
Oh well, there were supposedly 2 attacks, and you're right. One maybe, one the other one no, probably not. And yes, you're right. It was all a bunch of bullshit. But the thing is that the Congress knew it, the Senate knew it. And all but 2 Republicans went. 2 Republicans voted against it. Everyone else voted for it. Even Clark Clifford advised him to just get the hell out.
That's the reason that Hubert Humphrey lost in 1968, because he wouldn't untie himself from LBJ's apron strings.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when I heard Trump talking about Arnold Palmer's giant cock, I did have to laugh a little bit, thinking about how Johnson was renowned for swinging around his Johnson in front of
boys. My favorite quote of LBJ. Boys, I've got Hubert's balls right here in my pocket. Anybody want to see them? I'm having lunch, but thanks.
Yeah, he used to have a habit of making everyone strip down and go skinny dipping in the White House pool. And
well, you know what else he did? If you would knock on the door of the Oval Office, he'd be in the bathroom taking a crap. Yeah, come on in.
With the door open. Yeah.
With the door open. By the way, I don't know if I've brought this up before, but this is something that's really mystified me. I think I have brought it up, and I don't remember getting a definitive answer, damn it. In the movie W, Bush is sitting on the toilet, and he pulls one sheet toilet paper. Now, I know what a tight ass is, but one sheet? Are you kidding me? That can't be.
That is a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
That is a, as my father would say, that is a Goya Shatukas right there. Yes, sir. Boy, one sheet? Are you kidding? When I think about, when I fart, I use one sheet. What are you talking about? That amazed me.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
one sheet.
That's. But
Wouldn't it be great if Mark just said, and on that note.
Yeah. And by the way, Daddy Bush was in Dallas.
We're getting close to wrap time here.
Huh?
We're getting close to the wrap time.
Okay.
We're getting close to rapture. Yeah. I mean, rap time. Okay.
The rapture.
Is it 8:50? What is it? 8:50 what?
It's 8:56.
Hey, Mark, when are you coming back? Or is Susan going to keep you in exile in the West forever?
I love it out here.
I'm not. I
just got my senior transit card here, so I ride around for $5 a week. So
nice.
I can stay for as long as I need to.
All right.
And there's plenty of jobs for me out here.
What are you going to be in, like Boogie Nights 2? In the Burt Reynolds role?
Excuse me, Dibs.
Plenty of comic gigs.
Dibs. Yeah. Remember, Sam's just short, not small.
Exactly.
Well,
He's short.
There was a. Do you remember Rod McEwen?
Yes, sadly, I do.
There was a reviewer in the Washington Post who said, when he completely fooled me when he said this, when one leaves a Rod McEwen concert, one is grateful to be alive. And I thought it was going to be a compliment, right? He goes,
right.
You were so thrilled that you didn't die of boredom during this horrible. He said, how can one man sound that bad for that long? Oh, man.
Yeah. Well,
oh, God.
You know, what can I say? It's like the Yoko Ono box set with bonus tracks.
I'm going to tell you. I said this before, but I will go to my grave unable to figure out why anybody listens to her at all. I heard her do one thing. You know the song "Big Shot" by Billy Joel.
Yeah.
It sounded like a machine gun at 78 RPM.
But
that's what it sounded.
Explain this one. Jack Webb doing "Try a Little Tenderness."
How about William Shatner doing Rocket Man?
God, that was so good.
Oh yeah, classic.
It was the 70s.
That was unintentionally brilliant.
Exactly. I was stoned out of my gourd, going, "Oh my God, this is the worst, best thing I've ever seen in Earth."
When he goes like this, and I'm going to be hot.
Oh, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go YouTube that thing after the show, and that's just a classic.
Do me a favor. Don't say, after what I've been through in the hospital. Don't say I'm going to go that quickly.
Okay.
For any number of reasons, I'm going to go, fellas. Everybody have a lovely week.
All right.
Oh, we're just wrapping up here. Let me finish saying goodbye to everybody. Hey, thanks for joining us, everyone. That's been another hour of your time watching us. Whether you're watching us live Monday night at 8 o'clock or you're watching on YouTube as it stays on the YouTube channel. Until next Monday when we're going to do it again. So join us next Monday. If you'd like to be on the show, we'd love to have you. If you find a spot in here anywhere where you think I can contribute to that, whether you're a comic, a writer, just an old geezer like us, or a young person. We want young people too. I mean, the more
if you can find a spot, let me just say this. Let it go.
Anyway, that's our crew. We're going to say goodnight, and you guys can stick around. We're going to talk afterwards. But everybody else on the live cast, we'll see you again next Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And I'm in the Pacific Time Zone, 5 o'clock Pacific Time. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Ciao for now. When you're watching a football game and you see a guy tumble to the ground and like roll over, whenever I see that, I always think to myself,